And yet the Blessed Virgin Mary changed his life. Yes, please.
I do believe that cross-dressing is wrong, but what are some arguments you can give me to defend that belief? Like strong arguments.
That cross-dressing is wrong? If people want to cross-dress, that's their business. But don't tell me that I have to call you a girl when you're a guy. I mean, I'll even, if they want to be, like if a girl wants to be called George, I'll call her George, but I'm not going to call her a guy. I'm not going to call her male. So if they want to cross-dress, if they want me to call them George or whatever, that's fine, but I am not going to say that you are a male when you're a female. So I'm not, there's no argument here. It's common sense. They are confused. So there is no argument to defend that because they are confused. To me, it's that simple. And if they say, well, this is the way I want to be, okay. But don't tell me that I have to buy into your confusion by calling you something that you're actually not. I'm not going to lie. I love you enough not to lie to you. If you want to lie to yourself, but don't tell me that I have to participate in your life, because I'm not going to do that.
I know that, but like, how do you prove that cross-dressing in itself is immoral? I'm not asking like what I should call them, but like just discussing about cross-dressing.
I mean, if a guy wants to wear a dress, then he can wear a dress. I mean, what you wear doesn't change your identity. What you wear doesn't change. I mean, I ain't going no dress, I'll tell you right now, right? But if they're going to wear a dress, they're confused, let them wear a dress. But, here's the thing. Here's the thing. When you talk to people like that when they're adults, they will tell you of the confusion that they experienced when they were younger. Right? So there's a guy, for example, that came out of the whole thing. He thought he was a woman forever, and now he realized he's a guy. He's back, and he goes around talking about this, and he was confused. Like, for what happened? He was a guy, but he liked playing with dolls. So his mother said, "Oh, well, let's put him in a dress." And so they added to the confusion. Now, there's nothing, like, for example, my son played with dolls. You know how he played with dolls? Because he had a twin sister. I remember one time they were in a tub. I was with the other girls. We had older girls, so I was with the older girls. My wife was giving the twins a bath. And so all of a sudden she yells, "Hon, get in here!" So I thought somebody was drowning. So I run into the bathroom, and my son, well, first of all, I see my daughter splashing around with the dolls and having a nice beach day. Benjamin is taking the heads off the other dolls, filling the body cavities with water and watching them sink to the bottom of the tub. And I said, "What's the problem?" My wife said, "He's a serial killer." I'm like, "No." He's just not a serial killer. He's a boy. That's what boys do, right? And so Sophia dressed in dresses, and Benjamin wore pants and all kinds of stuff. We dressed them according to their sex that's given to them by God. If someone is confused and they want to wear a dress, that's their issue. That's their thing they needed to deal with. But I am not going to call them a guy. So I don't think there's that. I mean, it's like, could be a fact. I mean, I've seen some fashion things. I was in France back in June, and I saw some guy walking around with a dress and a purse. And I don't think he was same-sex attracted. I think that was just the fashion trend. That I'm like, dude, I ain't wearing that. So I'm not making a judgment about them. So if you want to wear a dress, you wear whatever you want. Fashion styles and all that kind of stuff change. But I am not going to dress like that, and I refuse to call you a sex that you're not. To me, that's the bottom line. I don't know how else to answer that question. I mean, dressing in a guy wearing a dress is not in itself, grave sin or anything like that. But again, they're confused. They're confused. And so I don't know what arguments you want me to give. Like, don't wear that dress. I mean, there's nothing intrinsically evil or sinful about a guy wearing a dress, but I think it shows the confusion that there's something going on there. For example, I know someone that's transgender. This young lady was very close to her dad. In fact, the dad was the coach of her softball team. The dad, and I had dinner with him a week before he died. He literally did not wake up one morning. Now, he's younger than me. His wife went to wake him up because I guess she thought he slept through his alarm. She went to wake him up and he was dead. He never woke up. So now this girl started dressing and acting like a guy. Why? Because she missed her father. That strong, positive male image in her life was taken too early from her, and now she is trying to identify because she's trying to capture something. That's what I think is going on. She's trying to capture something of her father. She's trying to retain something of her father, so now she's thinking she's a guy. See, so that's the confusion. So if she wants to dress like a guy, wear a tux or a suit or whatever, that's what she wears is not the issue. The confusion that she's experiencing is the issue that needs to be dealt with. And I honestly don't know how to answer that question. I know you're not satisfied by that answer, but I don't know how else to address that. I mean, if someone came to me as a guy, as a dress, I'm not going to tell them to take the dress off. I mean, if they want to dress like that, that's their thing. But I draw the line when it comes to calling them female or male when they're not.